We're live as well. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. It is 10 o'clock on Wednesday, October 5th, 2022. This is the weekly public business meeting of the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners. In addition to the meeting taking place here at our conference room, it is being streamed live over YouTube and will be recorded for later availability. All three commissioners are present today, and that constitutes a quorum. It is the first meeting of the month. So as we do at the first meeting of every month, we recognize employee service milestones and also welcome new hires to the county team. We have, Vanna?
I'll be your van.
Thank you. We have three employee recognition items today. Paul Hernandez with the Sheriff's Office, 10 years of service.
Don't let them go back to their seat.
Oh, but who's gonna?
Sorry, you're sitting
who's the photographer?
here awkwardly. Do we?
Oh.
It's got a kid, got a phone.
Oh, it's got a kid for us.
Make sure.
Next up, Deborah Howard. We know her as Debbie, 15 years of service for the Lincoln County District.
Yeah.
And do we have Priscilla Bradley here today? 25 years with the clerk's office. Shall
So
we?
we're doing a picture now. Okay. At least some professionals.
Thank you.
Everybody's is assigned, right?
And now Jaylene Cook from Human Resources is with us to introduce our latest round of new hires.
Thank you,
Good
Chair,
morning.
Commissioners. For the record, I'm Jaylene Cook and I'm the Assistant HR Director for Lincoln County. We have a few folks that weren't able to join us, but then I'll have the rest of the group come forward and introduce themselves. Rochelle Butler, rejoined us for the Sheriff's Office as a Corrections Health Nurse, part-time non-benefited. Robert Carver joined the Transit Department as an on-call transit driver. David Boyes also rejoined the Sheriff's Office as a patrol deputy. And Ryan Huntsucker joined Public Works as a road maintenance worker 1.
Great. Do we have any of these folks here today?
Eileen's gonna come first and introduce herself.
Just stand awkwardly.
Go ahead, you just introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Eileen Jabevic. I am the Corrections Health Office Assistant.
Welcome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Anthony Betancourt. I've been hired as a detective for the Sheriff's Office.
Welcome.
you.
Congratulations.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Mary Ann Seifert, and I'm part of the Health and Human Services Public Health Division. I'm going to be doing health promotion work.
Thank
Great.
you.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm working with Health and Human Services, Public Health, Harm Reduction Specialist. So,
And you need to
and
tell us.
my name is Jake Mapp.
Morning, Commissioners. Douglas Lyon, family physician, new medical director for Lincoln County.
Photo time? Okay.
Oh, you're fine. You'll get me away. Yeah.
Katie, dear. Lord. Same here. All right, well, thank you all. Welcome. And as we always try to remind everybody, we will look forward to seeing you to receive your first service certificate and PIN in 5 years, but don't be a stranger. You're always welcome at commissioner meetings. Thank you all. Okay, we move on now to the adoption of the consent calendar. These are routine items or items that have been presented and discussed at previous meetings. Are there any items which staff or commissioners wish to either highlight or remove from the consent calendar for separate consideration?
There is something I just want to highlight, which is under H3 USDA Wildlife Management Cooperative Services Agreement. That is to fund our county trapper services, and I only point it out because every year we get several public comments about the importance of that service. So just want to let the public know that we have a contract in place to keep that service going for the next year.
And isn't it also true that as the federal and state governments have scaled back their support for the position, the county has stepped up with additional funding to keep it a full-time job.
Correct.
I might add that certainly the trapper is very active in some of the remote rural parts of the county, and East County comes to mind. But he also has a lot of work that he does within the city limits, and I think that's an important note when you look at the cost of this that's being paid totally by the county and the state.
Good point. Would anyone like to make a motion regarding today's consent calendar?
I make a motion to adopt the consent calendar as presented.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Would all in favor of it, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, the consent calendar is approved, and we've got a relatively light agenda this morning, so we move on now to commissioner reports. And I'm going to start off, and I'm gonna ask Commissioner Jacobson to tag team with me on this, because in this endeavor, I'm wearing my Housing Stability Council chair hat, and she's wearing her commissioner hat. The monthly meeting of the Oregon Housing Stability Council, which I chair, will take place electronically on Friday morning. And one of the agenda items will be approving some flexible allocations of wildlife recovery money for Lincoln, Lane, and Marion counties. This is according to the staff report, to speed up critical housing recovery tasks, particularly land acquisition, provide some direct allocation of flexible funding to county partners, and to ensure that there is an appropriate geographic distribution of funds. The staff's proposing, and we're likely to approve, in addition to the $2 million for Lincoln County, $4.8 million for Marion County, and $8 million for Lane County, which will in a way balance out the allocations statewide for wildlife housing recovery, because just to make them equitable for all the counties in proportion to the number of housing units lost. And Commissioner Jacobson, I know you've been working directly with the agency on this allocation for us, and just wanted to see if you had any further comments.
Yeah, well, putting on my commissioner hat, I say thank you to your OHCS hat for doing that. So, the state received over $100 million, $120 million for wildfire recovery housing back in, I think, early 2021 is when that money came in. And I think several of us in wildfire affected counties have been advocating to get a portion of that directly allocated to us ever since that. And that has finally happened. So I'm really excited to have some direct money, mostly because I feel that the county can move much faster than the state can. There's been many times where there has been property that we thought would have been a great development for survivors. Found the property, liked the property, saw the property. State just simply could not move fast enough in today's market to get that property bought. And that has happened many times. And been very frustrated. And I think having the direct allocation that we can work with, well, we may not be, super fast. We are definitely faster than the state can be purchasing properties. So I'm happy about that. The other thing I wanted to add is, while $2 million is directly coming to Lincoln County, which is the lowest amount of all the counties, we're actually getting $5 million. So $2 million is coming directly to us, and $3 million is going to the Housing Authority for a project in the North Lincoln County area for survivors that has been essentially plotted out I think that they're in the process now of actually executing that project, and the 3 million is what they needed to do that. So there is 5 coming to the county, 2 is coming directly to Lincoln. I kind of had the decision, like, do we want all 5? And then we pass it through to the housing authority, but it made sense to me to just let the state give it directly to the housing authority rather than a 2-way pass, which takes time. So I'm excited about the opportunity, and I guess if anyone out there in the community knows of property for sale in the North Lincoln County area, please let us know, because we will now start looking for some parcels to pick up. And part of this will be for directly developing parcels for survivors, but also there's about $255 million coming in to the state from the federal government through the Community Development Block Grant for wildfire recovery. And Lincoln County will eventually be getting a portion of that too. So the idea is to use this 2 million and do some land banking, so that when that money comes in and we actually have property to develop. Whereas I think if we waited till we had that money, it would be very challenging to find property to develop in such a short period of time. So we're hoping to use this and leverage it till we have the resources to develop it. So,
Yeah, my experience with just about every housing program is that if you're looking for state funding, you absolutely have to have site control, either ownership outright of the property or a purchase agreement. So I think this will be a very wise investment.
yeah, thank you.
Do you have anything else to share today, Commissioner?
Yeah, I guess the other thing too, I would share is I attended the Association of ONC Counties meeting last week, and found out at that meeting that Lincoln County was eligible for another $1.2 million because we are a secure rural schools affected community. And there was money kind of slipped into the ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, for those communities. And so we found out that we will be getting an additional $1.2 million for that. And I believe our county manager, Tim, has the information and will be directly applying for that. But we do know the amount. And so we have some additional dollars coming in as well, which is great.
Great, Commissioner Hunt.
Well, certainly good news on housing. I guess I think of how you eat the elephant one bite at a time. So lots of work, but that's money certainly will be some good first steps. Those of you that know me know that occasionally I wear a tie that tells a story. Today's tie says daddy, dada, pop. And I'm wearing that not because there's been a change as far as my role as a dad, but our third grandchild was born Saturday at 11:20 p.m. in Beaverton, 7 pounds, 10 ounces. Callan Michael Polk, welcome to the world on Saturday. So that's a third grandchild, second grandson, and that was with our middle child, oldest daughter. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Mr. Richmond, would you mind taking a peek at the clipboard there, see if anybody's signed in for public comment?
Nobody.
Okay, and usually we also offer an opportunity, if you could check attendees, if there's somebody who wants to offer public comment remotely, this would be the time to use the raise hand function on Zoom. But I'm not seeing any hands go up. So I believe this will bring today's meeting to a conclusion. Next week, we meet Monday, the 10th, 10 a.m. For our office staff meeting in the hybrid format. And Wednesday, October 12th, Columbus Day or traditional Columbus Day, again, meeting at 10 a.m. for our weekly public business meeting. Until then, we're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.